We want to clean in the paint. We're going to call hand checking and body checking, and sportsmanship is an absolute must. Okay.
He lets it fly. Oh, I can't believe it.
Welcome back to the Two Shots in the Ball podcast. I am your co-host, Mike McAndrews, along with my brother, Jim McAndrews. Jim, episode 15. We keep moving along here. I know it's been about 10 days since we've had our last one, so we're looking forward to coming back on with another great guest.
Episode, what number did you say?
15, the greatest
15,
number, the
yes.
greatest number of them all.
Love
right?
it. All right.
Yeah.
Yep.
So this week, we're going to talk to a guy who's been a veteran college basketball coach, kind of a journeyman at both the Division I level and the Division II level. So without further ado, today's guest is a veteran college basketball coach, having spent the last 25 seasons coaching at the collegiate level. He started his career at Central Michigan from 2001 to 2003. He then spent 5 seasons on staff at Western Michigan from 2003 to 2008 before heading to the University of Dayton, where he was instrumental in helping the Flyers earn 3 consecutive postseason appearances. In 2011, he joined the staff at Iowa State, where he helped steer the Cyclones to 4 straight NCAA tournament appearances. At Iowa State, he recruited and developed 6 All-Americans and 8 future NBA draft picks. In 2016, he came back home to Michigan to spend a season with legendary coach Greg Kampe at Oakland University. In 2017, he was named assistant coach at the University of Missouri under head coach Cuonzo Martin, where he spent 5 seasons. In April of 2022, he was named the head coach at Grand Valley State University. This season, he will be entering his 4th year as the head coach at Grand Valley State. We are pleased to welcome to the Two Shots in the Ball podcast, Coach Cornell Mann from Grand Valley State University. Coach, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me. My pleasure.
Coach, thanks for joining us.
So, Coach, for our listeners, why don't you take us through your basketball journey from your high school playing days, college playing days at Akron, and of course your coaching journey that has led you to being the head coach at Grand Valley State?
Well, it's let's just say I didn't take the short route. I played at Ferndale High School. I'm originally from Royal Oak Township, right on 8 Mile in Wyoming and Detroit area. Played with my cousin Dwayne Stevens, who you guys did a podcast with, head coach at Western Michigan. After I signed to go play at University of Colorado Boulder. I played at University of Colorado Boulder, where people always ask, well, Corn, how'd you end up out there? One, I thought it would be wise for me to get away from the metro area. But 2, my cousin Charles Johnson, who played quarterback on the football team, he was MVP of the Orange Bowl when they won the national championship. He was a big reason I ended up out there as well. And so I went to University of Colorado Boulder, had a great year, Final Four to NIT. Then from there, I went to University of Akron and played the rest of my career in terms of my undergrad, and got my bachelor's from University of Akron. During that time, both DJ and myself in high school, we actually worked a basketball camp for Orchard Lake St. Mary's College. And we were actually coaching guys our age. But that's when we realized, you know what? Really like this. And so we both wanted to coach. And so every summer while I was in college, I worked camps. That's all I did is work camps. And after that, my mom was sick. After I got my bachelor's, she wanted me to come home. I was ready to go start as a graduate assistant somewhere. And she really wanted me to come home, and I'm glad I did. Then I was not very happy, but I'm glad I did, because after 2 years, she passed on. And then I left right away. I had a head and sweatshirt company, head t-shirt and sweatshirt company called Dog Life. I was a social worker, and back then we would work guys out for free. So I was a trainer as well. I worked a lot of guys out. And again, it was my pleasure. Then Coach Donnelly, who just retired last year at University of Detroit Jesuit, he was an assistant at Akron. He left and went to Mansfield in Pennsylvania. Then he got the head coaching job at Elmira College in upstate New York. The same time he got that job was right after my mom had passed. So he called me. we linked back up, and I went out to Elmira College in upstate New York for a year. After that, this name you guys might be old enough, but I went out to Kobe Community College, and I worked for a guy named Bill Morse. Bill Morse won 2 national titles. He won them both at Fort Hays State. One when Fort Hays was in NAIA school, and the other when Fort Hays was Division II. I worked for him for he's a gem. I mean, he was a gem. Sharp dude, obviously a genius of a coach. He was really, really good. But at that time he hung it up. And so after 2 games, I was thrust into the position as the interim head coach. And we had the best start in Kobe history at 10-0. And that soon crumbled the rest of the season because we had a bunch of players from Michigan at that time. A lot of those guys did not do what they needed to do academically and or character-wise. And so, the rest of that season kind of did not go well. After that year, I went back to the Michigan Metro Detroit area to Oak Park High School. And I was a teacher and a coach for 2 years. And then I went to Central Michigan, where honestly, Central Michigan hadn't been back to the tournament since I was there with Chris Kaman and J.R. Wallace and T.J. Merriman, all those guys. We had a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful time there and great team.
Was that with Jay Smith as the head coach?
That was. Jay
Yeah.
Smith was the head coach. Jay Smith was the head coach. And left there and went to work with Steve Hawkins at Western Michigan, which was interesting because obviously Central and Western are rivals. I mean, heated rivals.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a Chip, so yeah.
Yeah. I went from getting some Chip love to wait a minute now. So, but it was good. I went over there and worked for Coach Hawkins, and I did that for 5 years. We won the MAC regular season and title at Central with Kaman and those guys. Then I went to Western, same thing. We won the MAC regular season and tournament title there. I was there for 5 years with Coach Hawkins. Then I went to University of Dayton with Brian Gregory. I learned a lot at every spot. I did 3 years with BG, who is now obviously the GM of the Phoenix Suns. Then after that, I went to Iowa State for 4 years with Coach Hoiberg, and it was the best 4 years in Iowa State history. I think that's changed now. I think that we did a great job moving it, and TJ has done a wonderful job continuing after prom. Then Fred took the job with the Bulls, and I ended up over with Coach Campy for 1 year, and that was the first year he had won the Horizon League. And so I coached for 1 year with Campy. He always joke about, I'll call him. He'd say, "Corn, I'll do whatever you need me to do. You helped me win my first Horizon title, and you recruited Kendrick Nunn, who was considered,
the best player
top
they've
1 or
had.
2.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so after that, then I went with Coach Martin out to University of Missouri, and I did that for 5 years. That was a wonderful stop, very educational and very interesting time. Not just in college basketball, but in all of the history of the United States at that time with the the world happenings, the George Floyd stuff. It was an interesting time. And then after that, I took the job here at Grand Valley State University.
Awesome. An amazing
Coach,
story.
that is amazing, and those are some big names from the mayor and to our local guy Campy. But you've coached a lot of mid-major, Power 5, really successful Division II. Can you think of what do you think's different about those environments and those divisions, and what's the same about them?
Well, I guess for me, when you get into basketball for a certain reason, I got into basketball. Obviously, I love the game. But it's very personal for me in terms of my aim is to help as many young people as I can, not necessarily just basketball. That's the platform that God has given me to help them. But basketball now, especially now, basketball is basketball. It does translate. You got an inch or two taller or shorter here, maybe a little more athletic here or there. I think The one thing that's very distinct to me, coaching and working at these two levels, Division two is really geared towards student athlete. The rules and regulations are centered around making sure that the students are students first, which of course I love because that's my aim anyway. And Division one and those levels are different, not just Division two, Division one, but Division one levels are different. I think ball right now, like Division two, our team, I think we got a great group of guys. I think we got a high character group, um, and I think Division one, you have to take whoever you can take to win games. Sometimes that does not come with guys that you really, really, really feel great about. And Division two, or at least at Grand Valley, we are all about high character guys, high academic guys, and we refuse to uh, take guys that's not right. One of the reasons is why is when I grew up, coach would snatch you by your collar, take you in the locker room, shake you up, bring you out, you ready to go. In this day and age, obviously you cannot do that, should not do that. And so to me, it's easier to coach guys with high character because they have habits that make their character high, their academics high, and they want to do the things that whoever the coach is ask. And so for me is very important, and the level is very important to have that in place. Now I do think if you think about it, you go Stanford, you go Davidson, some of these schools, Dayton, some of these schools have high academic standards, so you don't have a choice. But you can get it done either way. But I think that's the difference. I really think athleticism sometimes is um, obviously higher at the levels, and Division two sometimes come with, I don't want to say bad bodies, but bodies that's more susceptible to injury. It seems.
It's a great take. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah,
So, coach, you named it in talking about your journey, but you've worked with some legendary college basketball names, and Coach Martin, Fred Hoiberg, Brian Gregory, Greg Campy, and many others. How have they all helped prepare you to be the head coach at Grand Valley? And is there anyone along your coaching journey that has had the biggest impact on you as a coach?
Um, so when it comes to the guys I work for, I work for some very, very good coaches, as you said. Some tacticians. I tell you what. So I'll run them through. Um, Coach Donnelly. Obviously, I was very young, and he was my college coach at Akron. One of the guys that I played for there. And I was in an entry level position. That was a great experience because I was able to coach the JV team, help him with varsity, do recruiting all the time. But you can also make mistakes at the Division three level as an entry level coach, and I was able to make some mistakes, and coach gave me a chance to fix them, and he helped me fix them, and I learned a lot that way. When I went to work for Bill Morris, I was a very he was really good, but he did not really care about the student athlete, meaning it's all ball. It's all ball. I'll give you an example. This was interesting. The first game we played, it was the day before game. The players was calling me like, "Hey, coach, what's going on? We got practice." So I'm over at the arena in Colby, Kansas. I'm at the arena, so I called coach and I say, "Hey, coach, we need to get in the arena." He's like, "Oh, okay." And so he shoot over real quick. He opened the door and he said, "Corn, just so you know, we don't practice day before game." He said, "So here's what you do. You go in, you open the gym, flick the lights on, put the balls out, set the clock for 30 minutes. At the 30 minutes, get them out of there." And one time I did ask him, what was one thing that made him a championship coach? And that was the one thing he thought made him a championship coach. So Bill was different. He was an outside the box thinker. He was really good though, obviously. Then working for Jay Smith, Jay Smith was not the easiest guy to work for. He's a good man. but he was not the easiest guy to work for. And for that reason, he was really good for me. It was my first Division I job, and workload was ridiculous. I mean, it was a lot. Myself and Paul Rivers, who is also with the Suns, we spent a lot of nights with no sleep, staying up all night, at least one or two a week. And so the one thing I learned in that situation was two things. One, you do have to share yourself with the players, with the guys. The other thing that I learned was work ethic. I mean, you had to have a great work ethic in order to work at Central Michigan at the time. And for that reason, I thought Central was really, really good for me. It was a great experience for that reason. Then Coach Hawkins, one of the things he did for me that I thought was impactful was even during games, I would say, "Hey, coach, let's do this." And the game is going, and he'll say, "Corn, no, but here's why." Okay, Corn, yeah, that's a great idea. Here's why. And so he always gave the why, even during games. He was you were trying to be a coach, and he was trying to help you be a better coach. And obviously, it was some things that I brought to the table that was really good, but it was also things that I had to learn, and I was able to do that. Um, then Brian Gregory, he was another guy that really burned the clock, and um, so my work ethic that I got from Central Michigan really helped me when I was at University of Dayton. But the University of Dayton was a place where I think, like a caterpillar turned into a butterfly, or I think I blossomed. I learned to blossom there because I thought BG did a great job with preparation. I thought he was at the top level preparation in terms of practice, preparation in terms of games. If there's a such thing as going over the top, we did it. We X and O. We talk about basketball all day. It was times that we would talk about change. How we gonna guard the ball screen. Hey, listen, and we would talk like an hour about it, right? And sometimes we come right back, and we guard it. Mostly we guarded it the same all year, but the conversations back and forth, that really, really helped me. And his organization skills, and bringing me in to say, here's why we organize things that way. It was great. It was great. So when I went to Iowa State University, you got to remember at that time, Fred Hoiberg had only finished his first year ever of coaching. And so what I did was I showed up when he wanted to talk basketball before he offered me the job. I showed up with an iPad, and I showed him. They were playing a game versus Kansas, and I showed him how I thought I could help him in terms of their defense, because frankly, defense was awful. Offense was big time.
Yeah.
Fred is unbelievably.
Fred
He's
can
he,
score.
oh,
Yeah. He
no
wanted to
doubt about it.
score. He wanted to
Yeah, yeah.
score.
And so I was able to take a lot of everything I learned from them spots, especially from University of Dayton, and implement things, especially on the defensive end, and the organization part and practice planning. All that stuff was big for me, and obviously big for Iowa State when I went there. But I love Fred.
Helps when you recruit a kid in Monte Morris out of Michigan, huh?
Ain't no doubt.
He
Ain't
could
no
go,
doubt.
man.
He was not highly recruited. It
I
was
know.
it was weird. It was weird because when you watch him play, it's all there. And he was a guy that I always said this, and people said, "Well, what do that mean?" He played the game the right way. He played the game the way the game was meant to be played. He kept the ball on the move. He kept everyone happy. Everybody loves to play with Monte because they know Monte is a purist when it comes to basketball. He's not out there trying to get his, but if he got to get something done, he's gonna get it done. That was a great stop for me. And then obviously Coach Campy, everybody's style is different, very, very different. And so I had to compile everything together to figure me out. But Campy is a guy. One thing I'll say about Campy, and this is probably going to help him recruit. When Campy say to a kid, "Hey, listen, I'm gonna let you shoot the ball as much as you like," he's not lying.
Yeah.
I mean, he's gonna let him shoot the ball as much as they like. He's a very simple coach, but when I say simple, he knows exactly what he wants, and he's going to do exactly what he wants. And every single time it seemed to work out. Every single time. He's a guy that that I can get on the phone and talk to, and he can make things sound very, very simple, and obviously that helps. And then Coach Martin, um, obviously we have some similarities in terms of the way we look. We both black, we both bald headed. I don't have a beard. He has a huge one. So one of the things I learned from him was it's kind of everything. He was the guy that. So right now, when I wake up. I'm up at 5. I wake up. I get into the word, and then I get my workout in, and then I'm off to work. Well, I still had the work ethic going when I was I still got it going, but I was at Missouri. Well, he's the only coach that once I started really working that way, he's the only coach that would beat me to the office. And when I walk into the office from time to time, that's what he's doing. He's studying the word. He has his pen out, he has his pad out, he has his marker out. Um, and that was not just basketball, that's leadership, that's life, that's faith. He gave me a lot to understand during those times. And obviously basketball, he's a very successful coach. Obviously the basketball stuff, he's a tough guy. He's a guy that he's not letting anything ride. He's very disciplined. He wants his teams to be very disciplined. And so I got a lot in terms of those things from Coach Martin, and he didn't just make my coachability better. He really gave me some things to help my life be better and help me pass some of those things on to players.
Yeah, I've always enjoyed listening to him from afar, and he seems like a no nonsense guy who's in it for the right reason, and that is to shape young men. That is for sure. Little known fact, Coach: the very first guest on the Two Shots in the Ball podcast was none other than Pat Donnelly.
Is that right?
Yeah. So
we
Pat
call him P. Diddy.
Yeah. So Pat and I have known each other. Pat and I have known each other for years, both coaching in the Catholic League here in Detroit. And when he retired, I said, "Look, I'm starting this podcast. You got to be the first guest." So he helped us work out the kinks.
No doubt. Well, he's a great guy, and obviously his family is still in basketball.
Yep.
I'll answer that last piece for you that you asked about people who really impacted my life in terms of coaching. So my family is full of basketball, full of athletics, but basketball. My Uncle Don played at Central Michigan. He was All-American in football, played basketball as well. They won the national title, Division II. My Uncle Earl played basketball, ran track at Western Michigan. Some of my other uncles did some other things. DJ's dad, he played at Northwood. He played football at Northwood. Then you start talking about myself, DJ. I don't know if you guys know this, but Joe Crawford and Jordan Crawford, that's our family.
Mm-hmm.
Jared Stevens, obviously. So, but the people who really impacted me, my Uncle Don was involved, no question. My brother Calvin, no question. He was along with my Uncle Don. Those guys really gave us everything they had to grow our games. DJ, we spent so many hours with each other and fighting on the court, one-on-one, working on each other's game, toughing each other up. He was as impactful as anybody in my life. And I'm the youngest of 7. I got 5 brothers, but he was as impactful as anybody in my life, and as well as my brothers and my uncles. So our family is who I would say impacted me in terms of coaching and getting out there and getting things done.
That is awesome.
That is a lot of talent in that family. Yeah. I like to think Mike and I love the game, but holy cow.
Right.
Those dinner conversations do not stray very much away from hoops, do they?
No, sir. No, sir.
Thanksgiving is all hoops.
Yeah.
We used to go to Ferndale on holidays and play. Like the whole family
you did.
to play.
Of course you did. Awesome. I'm going to either, wherever way you take this, either make it more serious or lighten things up because, I'm a referee. As a high school ref, I'm always curious to hear how coaches answer, the following question. Like, what do you think is the toughest call for referees in today's game, in your game, in our game?
Well, the charge call is I think they figured out the way to make it easier. I wouldn't say is the easiest or the toughest. I think they made a way to make it consistent. I thought that was at first the toughest. I'll be honest with you, and this is you could take this either way, lighthearted or not.
Yeah.
I think the toughest call is not necessarily a call. I think the toughest call for officials is just flat consistency. And when I say that, I'm not even talking about the game necessarily. I'm talking about the understanding of coaches. And it seems at every level, it seems that some coaches are allowed to be more animated and some are not but charged for being less animated. And I just think I think that hurts our game because it does look biased in ways depending on where you play or who's coaching the game. But I'll take it to this because we play an aggressive style. Last year, we fouled less than any other team in our league. But you go certain places and you get in that whistle. That whistle is crazy. And it's hard for me because I'm saying, hey, listen, we foul less than
We don't
anybody in the
foul,
league.
yeah.
I know it looked like we running
Here's the
around and
stats,
pressuring
yeah.
the ball and those things, but I think it's a thankless job for officials. So it's a very hard job. Is not easy to call games. I would not even assume for 1 second that that's an easy job. And so it's fair to say, it's human error and everything. And again, it to me is not necessarily a call as much as it is having the ability you have to be able to absorb both coaches and somehow be consistent that way. And that's hard. That's really, really hard.
It is hard, even at my level, at the high school level. It can be, very hard. And at the end of the day, whether we like it or not, perception is reality, right? So that's what we have to live with. And it is tough, and it's something you have to work on as an official to be consistent that way. And it has to be on your mind.
Yeah,
So
and
thanks
to
for
and to
sharing
your
that.
to your coach point, I think at every level, like you look down and go, "Why is this guy getting such a long leash with what he's saying?" And you've warned me already, and we're 2 minutes into the game.
Yeah,
So yeah,
it's tough, but at least like I felt like in our league since I've been in the GLIAC, I felt like it's gotten better every year. And I appreciate that. Uh, but it's still the same, meaning like I'll send, and I don't like sending things to the head of officials. He sometimes Bill Eck say, Corn, come on, man, you got to send it. Well, a lot of times I don't like sending things in because I really don't think much happens.
yeah, and you're gonna
Yeah.
get him again, and he's gonna know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So I just deal with it. Now, with that being said, I do think also I also think I've gotten better.
Thank you. Yeah.
So we've talked a lot to a lot of Division One coaches on this podcast and about the transfer portal and NIL and all that is going on at the Division One level with that. But I'm curious to get your take on how you and your staff utilize the transfer portal at all when looking at your roster each year. Do you look at guys that might potentially be coming down from Division One or even going from one Division Two school to another? Do you utilize looking at the portal?
So here's the way we do it. First of all, I don't. Again, I think the game translate up and down. So we have turned down as many guys, way more guys leaving Division One coming down. We've turned down more of those guys than we've taken. We do believe in development, and so for us, we have to get guys that we feel like we can develop into great players. And sometimes that don't look very good to some coaches. They'll look at a kid and say, "Oh, this kid is it." Well, I'm looking at the kid in terms of what we can do for him and how we can get him better. With that being said, we like freshmen, and so we'll take freshmen, especially first semester. Like if we can sign all our kids early, we'll use our scholarships with freshmen early. If we so happen to have a relationship with like a junior college kid because he was a freshman and now he went to junior college, but he was a qualifier, again, high academic, high character, we still are more apt to deal with a kid that way. But I have to say, in the second semester, will we still take a younger guy? We will, but we will take a look at the portal prior to, um, because there's a lot of kids transferring that we know. There's a lot of kids that transfers that's from this area, and so because we have relationships with those kids, we will take a look at them, and obviously they'll take a look at Division I schools and other schools. But if we can get a kid like that out of the portal, then yes. We took 2 kids this year out of the portal, one from Youngstown State, one from NAIA. Both of those kids we had prior relationships with.
Yeah.
And it wasn't. We took KK last year from Wright State. Had a great relationship with him, and so he came over. And for us, is really about the fit. It's really about the culture. We do not want to interrupt our culture to say we've taken a player of whatever caliber. We want to make sure we get the right pieces and the right people.
Yeah, and I think that kind of leads me into my next question, Coach. You've talked about it, already on this podcast. But what are some of the intangibles that you're looking for when you recruit a player? Forget the basketball stuff. If Coach Mann and his staff are watching him, he can play, right? It's got to be obvious that there's talent there. I talk to parents all the time about the importance of their behavior, our players, how they interact, how they handle themselves, both on and off the court. And I think it's important for parents and players that listen to our podcast to hear from a highly successful coach like yourself about the intangible things that you look for in a recruit when you're recruiting a kid to come to Grand Valley.
Well, again, I mean, at the end of this podcast, somebody's gonna say he kept talking about character. Well, I'll keep talking about character until I'm done coaching.
Please do.
Yeah.
Character is the most important thing for us. It really is. Academics will work with you if we can see that academically you're on an upward trajectory. If you had a bad freshman, sophomore year, but your junior and senior year you got things corrected, no big deal. We'll have some understanding for that. But character is number one, to the point where, I mean, you mentioned a little bit about it. If your parents' character isn't good, that's probably not good for us. And the way I explain it to recruits and their parents is, the kids we already have and the parents we already have in our program, they deserve to come to a game and enjoy their kids' success on the floor, off the floor, whatever that is. Enjoy that time. We don't need to recruit players who parents are in the crowd yelling and screaming, "Oh, Bobby suck. What is coach doing with Bobby?" Like we don't. That's not what we're about. And we are very fair. And so since I've been at Grand Valley, I have not had one phone call from a parent. And it's I'm very thankful for that, because the parents are understanding that we are fair and doing our best to be fair for each and every kid. Fair don't always mean equal. But other than that, basketball wise, we look for things that everybody look for. We just want to know that you have enough passion, that you want to be a great player, and you have enough about yourself that you'll work that passion out when it's not practice or team time.
So I talk to my players a lot, Coach, about the things that they do on social media or with their smartphones in their pocket that doesn't represent our school or our program or their families in a positive light. I've always been curious do you as college coaches dig a little bit into a potential recruit's social media?
Of course. Of
Yeah.
course. Not only that, but it bothers me to see. I just saw a kid earlier today. It bothers me, and I'll contact kids that I don't know, and I'll say some things to them, trying to help them.
Mm-hmm.
It was a kid today where I saw, he said, "I just got my 10th Division I offer." It's like, dude, you counting. And so number one, number two, and like, these coaches don't want to see that, because they all want to feel like they're important, and they should. And while you're counting, you making them feel little, like, or insignificant, whatever offer they offered you. And I just, that's a hard thing. But other than that, you know, we talk about with our guys in terms of it being their brand. This is who you are, whether you like it or not. Like Jim said, it's the perception is reality. Just because you, oh, well, that's just a rap song. Well, it's spewing some wild words, and you have it on your, whether you plan or
Yeah.
whatever that is. I don't like that, and I don't want that. I do. I check our guys. I check recruits. Have we not recruited a kid because of his social media? Yes, sir. Have we not taken a kid because his social media? Yes, sir. Have we not taken a kid or recruited a kid because his parents' social media? Yes, sir. There's no doubt about it. Because that's character too. Whether you want to call it character or not, that's really what it is.
Yeah,
It
certainly. Like,
is.
and the responsibility that we have as coaches to help this generation. We didn't have it growing up. I can't imagine what I would have been like at 15, 16 years old, I mean,
Mhm.
but the fact that sometimes they're putting stuff out there and not thinking past their noses sometimes, and like you said, it's their brand. They're a representation of their last name, and can't put that stuff out there for the world to see. So, I find that very important for both, high school kids, college kids. So I appreciate, what you do in holding your players to that standard. Coach, I want to thank you. This has been an amazing close to an hour, sitting, talking to you, hearing your story. You said it from the beginning. You did not take the shortcut. So your road to Grand Valley is one that was inspiring to me as a coach, and just to hear about all the stops you've made and the people you've been around and the impact that you've had in various programs. I want to take a minute to say thank you for taking the time to come on our podcast this evening.
Coach, thank you. Really, and good luck this year to you guys. And I'm looking forward to watching your team on the floor. I had a couple of those kids I refed in high school, so I always check out some kids that are playing at the next level.
Well, I appreciate you guys having me on, and even though you're not playing basketball, Jim is ref, and good luck to you, and
Thank
Mike,
you.
Mike, good luck to you as well. It's really good, the work that you guys are doing, because some of these podcasts is going to turn somebody's life around, and or change the trajectory. Help you're helping a lot of people, whether you realize it or not. And so for that reason, I really want to thank you guys for having me on.
Thank you. Thanks for the kind words. Yeah.
Thank you.
Jim, episode 15 with head coach Cornell Mann from Grand Valley State University. What an inspiring guy he is, man.
Yeah. What a story learning about his road to where he's at right now and the places he's been and players he's been involved with. Really great dude to listen to.
Yeah, and you talk about at that level having to grind it out. That guy has grinded out his career to get to be the head coach at Grand Valley. So,
Yep.
and kind of an old school mentality, which I really appreciated. He talked about the high standard he holds his players to, and he really focused in on the character of a young man, which is something both you as a coach, when you coached at Carter Mooney, and me as a coach kind of hone in on
Yeah.
as being a vital part of our program is the character
Yeah.
of the young men. So thanks. And I think that's what we had hoped this podcast would become, right? Like for
That's what I was
coaches,
getting at. Yep.
for players, for parents, to hear from somebody like him who has coached at the
Yep.
highest level, has been at the D2 level, and talk about there are kids we just won't take because of the way their parents act or the way they act. So thanks to Coach Mann again for coming on. 15 is in the books. We look forward to seeing you again soon and bringing you another quality basketball guest. So, but for now, my name is Mike McAndrews. For Jim McAndrews, we'll see you next time.
We want to clean in the paint. We're going to call hand checking and body checking, and sportsmanship is an absolute must, okay?
He lets it